Welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that sounds super technical but is absolutely key to understanding how a company operates with integrity. We're talking about related party transactions. And trust me, this is way more than just corporate jargon. It's like the essential guardrail that keeps businesses on the straight and narrow. So let's get right into it. So think about this. What happens when a company starts doing business with people or other companies it's already really close to? Insiders. It's not just a simple deal at that point. It becomes this critical corporate question that can seriously affect everything from shareholder trust all the way to the company's bottom line.
And that brings us right to the heart of our explainer today. What in the world is a related party transaction? It sounds complicated, I know, but don't worry. We're going to break this whole legal puzzle down piece by piece.
Now, to really get this, just looking it up in a dictionary isn't going to cut it. Nope. We have to go straight to the source, the actual legal framework that governs companies in India, because that's where the real definition and, all the rules of the game are actually laid out.
Our search starts with the big one, the main rulebook that every single company in India has to follow. And that rulebook is the Companies Act of 2013. This is the foundational law. It sets the ground rules for every single business out there. So this is our starting point for understanding how companies are supposed to behave.
Right. So this act really sets the stage. It establishes all the core principles of good governance. But here's the thing. It tells you what you need to do, but not always the specific how. For all those nitty-gritty details, we've got to look at another layer of rules. And that's exactly what we're doing now. We're zooming in from that general law to a much more specific set of instructions. Rules that focus directly on the power and, more importantly, the responsibilities of a company's leadership.
And here they are, the Meetings of Board and its Powers rules from 2014. Look, if the Companies Act is the main textbook, you can think of these rules as the super detailed lab manual. They give the board the exact step-by-step procedures they have to follow.
So here's how they fit together perfectly. The 2013 Act, that's our foundation, right? It lays out the big principles. Then, the 2014 rules come in and provide the detailed blueprint with specific, actionable steps for the board. You absolutely need both to get the full picture. Okay, so we have the foundation and we have the blueprint. Now that we have those two crucial pieces in place, we can finally put our definition together. So, let's just take our cue directly from the source material itself and focus on a really simple goal here. Let's truly understand the concept of a related party transaction. And here it is, broken down into three simple parts. First, it's a deal between a company and a related party. Now, that could be anyone from a director, a top executive, a major shareholder, or even their close relatives and other companies they might control. Second, the Companies Act of 2013 is what officially defines who actually counts as a related party. And third, the Board and Powers rules of 2014 spell out the exact procedures and approvals needed for these deals to be legit. See? It all just clicks together.
So, we've got our definition down. But the bigger question, the one we really need to answer, is why go through all this trouble? Why create all these laws and specific rules? Why does this all matter so much?
Well, it's pretty simple, actually. These rules exist to protect the company's integrity. They're there to make sure deals are fair, to demand transparency so shareholders know what's going on, and most importantly, to prevent conflicts of interest. To stop insiders from using their position to enrich themselves at the company's expense.
And the stakes here are incredibly high. We're talking about how a single, badly handled deal can destroy trust, raise all sorts of legal red flags, and cause serious financial damage. Just one transaction has the power to undermine an entire company's integrity, and that is exactly why these rules are so strict.
When you boil it all down, the entire legal framework we've just walked through is really an attempt to answer one fundamental question. When business and personal relationships get mixed up, where do we draw the line? It's a critical question for every single investor, employee, and leader out there. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.